Artificial intelligence is being adopted at a rate faster than social media, faster than computers, and faster than the internet, yet most people are sleeping on this opportunity. I'll show you. Imagine if you can go back in time and start an internet company back in 1995, 10 years after the internet was invented. Well, you had the early mover advantage and chances are you'd be doing pretty good. Or imagine if you can go back in time and start a blog back in 2005 before everybody had a blog. Well, you had the early mover advantage and you could be doing very well because of that. Or imagine if you started a YouTube channel 10 years ago in 2015, which by the way, is when I started the Minority Mindset YouTube channel, you would have had not really an early mover advantage, but an early mover advantage compared to where you are today. And you could be doing pretty well. And now here we are today in 2025, and we have the biggest opportunity that we have seen in many decades happening today. This time, it's because of AI, because it is growing and being adopted at a rate that we have never seen before. ChatGPT launched in late 2022, and in less than 3 years, over half of US companies are already using AI to grow their businesses. But here's the kicker. 44% of companies still don't know how to use AI, and that gap is where the biggest wealth opportunity of this decade is sitting. But time is ticking, because by 2030, it is estimated that AI will be fully integrated with most jobs in our economy and the early mover advantage will be gone, kind of like how everybody is using the internet today and how pretty much everybody understands how the blog works. And well, there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. Or to put it more bluntly, like Nvidia CEO said, AI will create more millionaires in 5 years than the internet did in 2 decades. That's why my goal in this video is to show you how you can capitalize on this trend. That way you can take some of this wealth for yourself. And I'm gonna do that by going over 5 things. Number 1, I'm gonna go over different ways that you can invest your money into AI. Number 2, I'm gonna go over how you can build a company using AI to fuel it. Number 3, I'm gonna talk about how you can take advantage of the AI marketplace and create income through that. Number 4, I'm going to talk about how you can supercharge your own business that you already might have through AI. And then number 5, I'm going to talk about how you can ramp up your career if you're working a job using AI to make yourself more valuable as an employee. Now, when most people think about investing in AI, they say, I want to invest in ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, but that's really the real base layer of investing. And what every sophisticated investor knows is that there's many layers to one investment. So what I want to go over is how you can invest in AI in multiple layers, but I also want to warn you that there's a very high likelihood that we could be in an AI bubble. Kind of like what we saw with .com companies in the late 1990s. There was so much money flowing into internet companies in the late 1990s that ultimately the bubble burst in the year 2000. And then in the year 2000, we saw many .com companies go away, many went bankrupt, but then a couple years later, those companies started to rise again, the good ones. Even Amazon stock fell by 90-some%. Why do I say that? I don't say this because AI is going to go away, kind of like how the internet didn't go away, but there's going to be volatility because of how much money is flowing into AI. Some of these companies are going to be dead in a few years. So you have to understand that risk. But for long-term investors, well, AI is probably here to stay. And because it's here to stay, the people that understand this can find the good opportunities through the volatility, through the craziness, and can find the opportunities to win. Now that you understand that, let me talk about some of the different ways that you can invest in AI by explaining it in multiple layers. Layer number 1 is you can invest in the AI infrastructure companies. These are the companies that are producing the actual backbone for AI, the chips that are powering the AI, or the actual services that allow you to talk to those AI. This is what most people think about when they hear AI. So this is like the companies that are powering ChatGPT, powering Claude, powering Gemini. That is the infrastructure or even the chips. These are things like Nvidia. Now, again, I'm not telling you what to invest in, just giving you examples. That's the first layer that everybody thinks about when they say investing in AI. But we can go many layers deeper. Layer number 2 is investing in the softwares that are powering that infrastructure, because all of those AI companies need specific softwares and tools and development and coding to be able to build that infrastructure. Well, there's a whole industry of those companies that you can invest in that many people really don't know of because they're not as popular as these, but you bet as AI is growing, those software tools are also growing as well. And with a quick Google search or ChatGPT search, you can start to see which companies are leading in that software race. Then you have AI-enabled businesses. These are companies, maybe healthcare companies, maybe real estate companies, maybe infrastructure companies that are using AI to grow their businesses. So they're not AI companies, these are businesses that are using AI in their industries to grow faster. And kind of what we've seen over the last few years is that the companies that are using AI are able to be more productive, they're able to be more efficient, and they're able to produce more profits. So you can do a quick search to find which companies are using AI. Then you can start to see, well, which of these companies do you think are going to continue to grow faster in the future because they're using AI and they're more innovative, even though they're not an AI company themselves. Then you have the data centers. Every time you go into ChatGPT and ask it something, that piece of information, that data has to be stored somewhere. And we say that it's stored in the cloud. Well, that cloud isn't actually in the clouds, it's a physical building. And that building is a data center. And as more people are using AI, the amount of data that's being stored is growing at really a very fast rate, which means there's a growing need for data centers. And this can create an investment opportunity for you because now you can invest in those data center stocks. You can invest in the real estate companies that are building the data centers, or you can invest in the companies that are operating those data centers. Again, if more people are using AI, well, then there's going to be more need for those data centers, which can create a long-term opportunity there. Along with that is cybersecurity, because with more AI comes more security threats, because a lot of people are giving their business's life story to AI. A lot of people are giving their personal life stories to AI. And so now there's a growing need for that cybersecurity to protect the AI, to protect those data. And well, that creates opportunity for those companies and those stocks. Likewise, we could take it one layer deeper. These data centers that are holding the data for the AI, well, they need to be powered somehow. And these data centers have realized that it takes a lot of energy to power those chips that are controlling and storing all of that data. Well, that energy is a new industry where you have specific companies that are powering those data centers, and there are some very innovative companies out there trying to find unique ways to power these data centers for fractionally cheaper costs, because those cheaper costs can add up to big savings over the long term, so that can create an opportunity for you to invest in energy companies that are powering those data centers. Likewise, those same data centers need to stay cool, because when you have so many computer chips running at the same time, it can get hot. You've probably felt your phone get hot or your computer get hot. Well, imagine when you have many of these chips together running at full capacity, it can get very hot, and if it overheats, the entire data center, well, could get wiped out. We can't let that happen. So there's a whole industry of these data center cooling companies, which again could be an opportunity for you if you start to follow the flow of money, and you can start to see that this AI investment goes a lot deeper than just the companies that are creating that public-facing AI. And this is what financially savvy investors understand, that there are many layers to this opportunity. Again, it is going to be volatile. Why? Because this is such a new industry. It is growing extremely fast. There are so much dollars coming in. There's so much competition. It could be a bubble, and some companies will get wiped out because they're trying to grow as fast as possible, trying to raise as much money as fast as possible. So some companies will fail, but it's going to create opportunity for the financially savvy who understand where that opportunity is and how you can analyze these types of investments. Again, for those of you that are investors or want to become investors and want help trying to research this is where I have a free investing masterclass where I'll walk you through how you can start investing in money, how you can find hidden investment opportunities before everybody else, because I'll show you the system that my firm and I use to research investments before they hit the headlines. It's completely free, and when you sign up for the masterclass, you're also going to get access to Market Briefs, which is my newsletter for investors, also complimentary for free. So if you want to get the Investing Masterclass and Market Briefs, all you have to do is register for free, and I have that link for you down in the description below. Now, before I move on to number 2, I want to give you one more piece of information on investing, because there are funds that you can invest in that will give you broad exposure to AI. So for those of you that are not interested in finding specific companies and researching companies, there are niche funds, sector funds that can give you exposure to AI. For example, BOTZ, BOTS, and IRBO. These are 2 ETFs, meaning funds that give you broader exposure to robotics and AI-related companies. WTAI, this is an ETF created by Wisdom Tree, which is an investment fund manager, and this is giving you exposure to the AI and innovation fund. And then you have QQQ. This is an ETF that gives you exposure to the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100 is a group of the 100 largest companies in the stock market that are not financial. And so because it's the 100 largest companies that are not financial, most of the companies in the NASDAQ 100 are tech. So if you wanted to get broad exposure to technology and AI, here are a few funds. Again, I'm not telling you what to invest in. Investing has risks. You're never guaranteed to make money when you invest. In fact, you will lose money at some point, so make sure you always do your own due diligence and never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube. But if you're willing to withstand the volatility, these are funds that can give you broad exposure to AI. Number two is you can build a business around AI. Now, the mistake that I see a lot of people make here is they say, I'm going to build a regular business and I'm just going to power it with AI. That way I can make a lot of money without doing any work. So what do? They say, I'm going to create a copywriting business. I'm going to write emails. I'm going to write blog posts for companies. And then I'm not going to do the work myself. I'm just going to put the prompt into ChatGPT or Claude, and then it's going to save me a lot of time. And now I can write these articles in seconds as opposed to hours. Well, the problem with that is you don't have any barrier to entry. As soon as that business owner realizes that you're just putting that prompt into an AI, well, they're going to do it themselves and they're going to stop paying you. Instead, let me go over a couple ways that you can build a business using AI by finding a pain point that people are willing to pay for that will be powered by AI. That way you have some barrier to entry. That way the business owner can't just do what you're doing very quickly and easily. I'll give you a couple examples so you can see what I mean. Pain point number one is realtors want to make more money. The last few years have been really tough for the real estate market because we've seen the lowest number of real estate transactions in decades. Well, realtors are paid on commission, which means they only get paid once a deal is closed, which means, yes, realtors have been struggling the last number of years. And now that mortgage rates are starting to go down and they're anticipated to go even lower in 2026, a lot of realtors are getting excited because they think that this is going to be a time to sell more houses. And the realtors that have an edge on the market, on their competition with AI, are going to be able to get more clients, close more deals, and make more money. So the pain point is that realtors want to make more money, especially in this economy. So you bet that they're going to be willing to pay you if you can help them get more leads and close more leads. And if you can power that with AI, well, now you have a business that can make you sustainable income. So how do we do that? Well, I used to work as a real estate salesperson many years ago. And the way that you find clients as a real estate salesperson is you're going to scrape the internet for leads. You're going to look for people that are selling their houses themselves. You're going to search Craigslist. You're going to search the public records to see who might be interested in seeing their houses. And it's a very manual process to then find these people, get their phone number, put it on an Excel sheet or a Google sheet or a piece of paper. That way now you have a list of people to call every single day to see if you can list their house for sale or help this client buy a house. Well, if you can build an AI tool to automate this process, to scrape the internet for leads, to scrape the public domain, to scrape for sale by owner leads, to create a Google sheet every morning with 50 people to call, 100 people to call every single day, well, now the realtor's job is just to field the calls instead of finding the people to call. Or if you want to take it one step further, you can build an AI tool that is going to find expired listings. Because if somebody tried to sell their house with a real estate agent but couldn't do it, well, now that the market is starting to change, this could be an opportunity for them to list their house with you, a new real estate agent who can help them sell their house in this market. So if your AI tool can find those expired listings, get the homeowner's phone number, and put it in a Google sheet for the real estate agent every morning, well, now it makes it a lot easier for the real estate agent to go and actually prospect and make those phone calls. And if you want to take it one step further, what is that real estate agent going to want to do once they actually list the house for sale? They're going to want to market it. Well, you can help with the marketing material. You can help them create a virtual tour of the property and use AI to furnish that property on the virtual tour. That way people can envision themselves living in the house. If you can build the AI tool, you can sell that to realtors, and you bet that there are realtors that will be willing to pay you somewhere between $50 to $500 a month to solve that pain point of not having enough leads, and they'll be willing to pay you that $50 to $500 a month to do that. So if you know how to sell, well, now you can create a tool to service those real estate agents if you can build the AI to do that. Let me give you another example. Skilled tradespeople, so plumbers, electricians, HVAC people, contractors, they don't want a fancy AI tool. They just want more jobs, less paperwork so they can make more money. If you could solve that problem of more jobs, less paperwork, less wasted time so they can make more money, do you think they'd be willing to pay you for that? Yes, and if you can solve that problem with AI, well, now you're onto a business idea. Well, we can go through that same analysis. If you can build an AI tool that helps these contractors, that helps these tradespeople, electricians, plumbers, roofers, find people that would be interested in the services, well, now you're giving them a database of leads. How can you do that? Well, you can find the public records of people that are pulling permits. Who's pulling permits? People that are doing renovations. You can find the public records of people that just moved into a house in a particular neighborhood. When people just buy a new house, many times they want to do upgrades, they want to do renovations. You can find people that moved into a new house 10 years ago. What happens after 10 years? Some problems, roof issues. You can do it 15 years, 20 years, whatever the lifespan is for that trade. You can start to find the people that have been living in a house for a particular period of time, whether they just bought it, they've been living there for 10 years or 20 years. The AI tool can then scrape that data, put it into a Google Sheet, and now you can start to rate these leads as how likely they are to need the service. And now you can start selling the service to those tradespeople. That way they can find more clients. Or you could take it one step further. If this tradesperson already has too many clients and they just want less time being spent on servicing those clients, you can build them an AI tool to help them send quotes. That way they don't have to keep going to the properties. This AI tool could be even more accurate than them going out there. This AI tool could then follow up with the client after the job is done, asking them for a 5-star review. Because many of these tradespeople are not marketers. They don't know how to get more clients. They don't know how to get a good Google review. But if your AI tool can ask for those reviews, maybe they can start getting more 5-star reviews to get more referrals to grow their business even more. Or one more example, I promise. As a licensed attorney, who's not your attorney, what I can tell you is that many attorneys are spending a lot of time doing repetitive tasks, rebuilding the same contracts after similar templates, and reviewing the same documents again and again and again, and doing a lot of heavy, time-consuming research. Well, if you could save those attorneys time, that way they can have more clients, they would be willing to pay you to solve that pain, and you can solve a lot of those problems with AI. How? Well, you can work with law offices to build them an AI brain that you can train using their legal documents, using their legal forms. That way, if an attorney needs to build a will or a trust or a basic contract, they just have to input whatever information that they need, and then the AI will complete their basic template or contract in a matter of seconds as opposed to hours. And now that attorney can do more clients in a smaller period of time, because now their time is going to be just reviewing the contracts to make sure it's done right. Likewise, that brain can help build the law office's research arm, because if the law office needs to do research on specific cases, that brain that you built, the AI, can research the legal pieces of information and data out there, because you can feed the legal data into the AI, and you can show the law office how they can do that research in a fraction of the time instead of having to read case after case after case. And if you can help build this legal brain for law offices, you bet that they would be willing to pay you to do that, and they would be willing to pay you $50 to $500 a month, month after month after month. So the law office could pay you $50 to $500 a month. The tradespeople could pay you $50 to $500 a month. The realtors could pay you $50 to $500 a month. And now you're gonna say, well, Jaspreet, that sounds great, but how do I actually build this thing? Well, there's this little tool out there called ChatGPT, where if you go to that tool and you ask it a question like, hey, I want to build this AI tool, can you give me a step-by-step process on how to do it over the next 6 weeks? It can walk you through how to do that. And then if you're willing to invest your time for the next 90 days to do it, and you're willing to invest a little bit of money, I bet you that you could have an MVP, a minimally viable product that you go and actually start selling to these clients for $50 to $500 a month. And if you can work to get one client, well, then you can have 10. And if you can have 10 clients, you can have 100. Well, now if you have 100 clients, you can start to see how you can have a sustainable business, because now you can start to hire more people to do the customer service, to make sure it's a great user experience, and now really to build you a much better AI tool. Number 3 is take advantage of the AI marketplace. So last year in 2024, ChatGPT launched their own ChatGPT store, kind of like the App Store, where people can buy access to tools and apps that you create on ChatGPT. Now here's the thing, half of people are still not using AI, and many people who are using AI don't even know that this ChatGPT store even exists. So if you can start to create tools for this ChatGPT store, and if more people start to need them, well, now your tool could start to become more popular in that marketplace, and you can start to get more sales of that tool. You can build tools for realtors, you can build tools for accountants, you can build tools for attorneys, you can build tools for tradespeople, whatever you want, and then you can sell your tools in the ChatGPT store for a recurring monthly payment. So if you can spend the next few months learning how to build these tools and seeing what tools are necessary, well, you can start creating these tools and selling them on the ChatGPT store, and then seeing what people are paying for, and then improving those tools and making more tools. Because if you can be a top seller in the ChatGPT store before everybody starts doing it, well, now you have that early mover advantage. Now, if you're wondering what other types of tools that you can be selling on this marketplace, well, you can sell pre-engineered prompts For example, 50 of the best prompts that you can use as a real estate agent. That's something that you could use. Or you can get more advanced and build done-for-you tools like I will build your law firm's AI lead generation tool for whatever price that you want to sell it for, and then you can put that on the marketplace to try to generate income from that too. Or I'm going to take this one step further and make it even easier for you. If you say, I don't want to create these tools, that's beyond me, I'm just a good seller, I understand internet marketing, well, you could be an affiliate for some of these tools, which means you can sell somebody else's tool and get a commission for every tool that you sell. So I'll let you figure it out. Number 4 is if you have a business, you can supercharge your own business by using AI. If it hasn't been explicitly clear, AI is becoming very smart, very fast. And I keep making these AI videos now because it has become extremely apparent to me that if we did not change our company's business model at Briefs Media, we were going to be out of business in the next 5 years. So we made a big pivot, and now we are investing in building the best AI investing tool that I have seen on the planet. And we're hoping to launch this sometime in early 2026. Now, I can't disclose too many details on it, but we're going to be integrating the power of our research with AI, plus a whole bunch of data to help investors make smarter investing decisions. So you'll hear more about that in 2026, but what I'm trying to get at is if you have a business, figure out how you can use AI in that business. You can use AI to save money and time on admin stuff. You can use AI to save money and time on marketing. You can use AI to save money and time on your research and analysis of your own data. So if you have a business, figure out how to use AI in that business, which brings me to number 5. Let's say you don't want to go out and do all this extra stuff. How can you be a strong employee that understands how to use AI? Because even if your job can't be replaced by AI, chances are your job might be threatened by somebody who understands AI better than you. And this is where, well, there's a lot of things that you can do. But the simplest thing that you can do, because, well, there's a lot of different people that are watching this video, is you tell AI what you do, and it will tell you how you can use AI in your career. So I'm going to give you a prompt that I've already worked with my team to engineer that you can just stick into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI tool that you want to give you a step-by-step system on how you can use AI to supercharge your own career. So I'll put it on the screen. I am a insert your job title here, working at but in your industry here. I've been in this role for X number of years. My biggest responsibilities are list your 3 to 5 main tasks that you do. My biggest challenges are, write the 2 to 3 biggest pain points that you have. My career goals are, I want a promotion, I want a raise, I want more clients, I want less stress. Whatever that goal is that you have in your career, show me at least 10 specific practical ways I can use AI to save time, be more productive, and accelerate in my career. For each idea, explain which AI tools I should use and how to implement them step by step. By the way, to keep it as simple as possible, I took that prompt and it's in the description as well. So if you just want to copy and paste that prompt, I have that for you down in the description. Just fill out whatever you need to make it more relevant for you. And now the AI tool will spit out what you can do to be a smarter employee at your job using AI. That way you can be more valuable and probably save some time in your work as well. So we know that AI is coming, and it's going to be coming faster. We know that there's a lot of money flowing into AI, and yes, there probably is an AI bubble, but that doesn't mean that there are not AI investment opportunities for the long run. We know that AI is going to be changing a lot, and those of you that can get ahead of the curve can take advantage of the early mover advantage. So we talked about different ways that you can invest in AI. We talked about different ways that you can build tools with AI, build your own business revolving AI. We talked about how you can take advantage of ChatGPT Store early. We talked about how you can supercharge your own business if you have one with AI. And we talked about how you can accelerate in your own career by using AI to make yourself better at your job. I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Again, for those of you that are investors or want to become investors, I have the link to my free investing masterclass for you down in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, the best thank you is a referral. So please share this video with a friend, a family member, a colleague, or a fellow investor. The United States government owes more than $37 trillion. That means your tax dollars are being used to pay interest on all that debt. And this is where President Trump has been proposing a new plan to help pay off this debt involving gold and involving crypto. And most people have no idea of how this plan works or the implication of this new plan on your money.